Hi there and welcome to CodeFramer. In this video, I'm going to explain you about Python sets, which is again a data type in Python which stores collection of items. Now, in the last few videos, I explained about Python lists, which is again a data type in Python which stores collection of items. And Python lists are extremely powerful themselves because you can store any form of data, any kind of data inside a Python list. You can manipulate the data as per your requirement. You can perform almost all manipulative operations on the items that are stored in a Python list. And also you have something called list comprehensions using which you can perform modifications or you can create a list just in a single line of code. And also you have something called generators using which you can process millions of items inside a Python list, and that too without having much footprint in your memory of your system. So as you can see that Python list itself is a very powerful data type. Now since we are going to learn about Python sets, it becomes a very important question that why is Python sets required? Especially when we have such a powerful data type which is called Python list, then why is it even required to have another data type which is Python sets in order to store collection of items? So in order to understand this, what you need to know is the features of the Python set data type. Because if you understand the features of this data type, then automatically you will be able to make out that what kind of a value does this data type brings in to the programming language. And also, when should a developer go for a Python set data type instead of a Python list data type in order to store his data? So we are going to understand about three features of Python set data type. So the first feature is, and also let me make a note of the points that I'm going to explain. So the first feature is all the items that are stored in a Python set are unordered. Now, what does it mean? That whenever we store certain amount of items in a Python set, the order of the items or the sequence of items will not be maintained. So it simply means that whenever you are not bothered about the sequence of data that you are storing, then you can always go for a Python set. So let me show you a quick example of this particular feature. But before that, what we need to first see is how a Python set is declared. So a Python set is declared inside curly braces. Now, if you are thinking that this is empty Python set, then it is not correct because this denotes an empty dictionary. But once you start storing items inside the curly braces, then it becomes a Python set. So now let us see the type of this particular variable which we have just created, in which we have stored the items, the collection of items, as a Python set data type. If we print the type function on the X variable, then as you can see that it prints class set. But if we remove the items from this variable, and if you print the same statement, then you can see that it prints dictionary. So always remember that a curly brace without any item denotes a Python dictionary, an empty Python dictionary. But when you start filling the items inside the curly braces, it denotes a Python set. Now you may have a question that what if I want to declare an empty Python set? So in order to create an empty Python set, all you have to do is just call the set function. So now if we print the type function on this variable, it gives the data type as set. So this is how you can create an empty set. So now going back to the first feature where all the items in a Python set is unordered, let me create a Python set and I will add some items, some random items, maybe 21. Then we will add some strings, for example, a, then maybe, I don't know, AD something. And if we now print this particular variable, then you will find that the order is not maintained. As you can see here that our data starts from 12, 13, 21, A and AD, but as you can see in the result, when we print this particular variable, the order is not maintained. So the first item comes up as A, and then 12, 13, 21, and then AD. So whenever you are not bothered about the sequence of your data, then you can go for a Python set instead of a Python list. Because in Python list, whenever you store a data and during the creation of the list, the sequence at which you have stored your data will be maintained throughout the lifetime of that particular list. But when it comes to the Python sets, the order or the sequence of the items will not be maintained. So I hope that the first feature is clear. So now let us move on to the second feature. The second feature is all the items in a Python set is unique, which means that each and every item which is stored in a Python set is distinct from each other, which means that you cannot store any duplicate item in a Python set data type. Now, this is the best way for you whenever you have a requirement where you do not want any duplicate items in your data, then the best data type for you is Python set. Just imagine for a moment that if you had to achieve the same functionality in a Python list, then you would have had to create a for loop where each and every time when you add a data or remove a data, every time you had to make this check whether the item that I'm adding is unique in my list or not. And just imagine the amount of time it could have taken to ensure that there is no duplicate item in your Python list. But when it comes to the Python set data type, the interpreter does the job for you. So it means that if you use the Python set data type, there is no possibility that your data can have a duplicate item. So now let me give you a quick example. So let me create a variable y and store some data. 4 and 5. We'll store some strings. B, we'll store some duplicates of B. So this is our data where you can see that we have some duplicate items stored, right? But now if we print the variable y, then you will find that all the duplicate data has been automatically removed. Now this is done by the interpreter for you. As I mentioned earlier, that whenever you have a requirement where you don't want any duplicate items in your data, then always go for a Python set. So now let us move on to the last and the final feature of the Python set. So the last feature of a Python set that we are going to understand now is that a Python set can be modified, or you can make a modification in a Python set, but you can never modify the item of a Python set. What it means is that, for example, if you have 10 items in your Python set, now you can add more items into the Python set, or you can remove certain items from the Python set. But the actual item that is stored, that can never be modified, which means, for example, if you have 10 items, the content of that item can never be modified with any operations. So which means that if you are a developer and you have a requirement where you don't want any modifications in the item, then you can always go for a Python set. But in contrary, if you remember that in Python list, you can make any sort of modifications in your items, right? The items which are stored in a Python list, the items can be modified. Like for example, you can change the type of the item, you can change the content of the item, you can do multiplications, additions to an integer, you can do concatenation. I mean, all sort of operations you can perform on the items which is stored in a Python list. But in the case of a Python set, you cannot modify the item, but you can modify the Python set itself. Like for example, as I mentioned earlier, that if you have 10 or 20 items in your Python set, then you can grow that particular Python set, or you can shrink that particular Python set by adding certain items or removing certain items. But the items that are stored in the Python set can never be modified. So let me give you an example to prove this point. So let us first declare a variable x where we will store certain items, maybe certain string items A, B, and C. And now, as I mentioned earlier, that we can add certain items into this Python set, and also we can remove certain items. So in order to add an item into this Python set, what you can do is you can say x.add, and then you can pass the item that you want to add. So in this case, we will add a string value D. So now if you print the variable x, then you can see that D got added into this particular Python set. Don't think that D got added at the first position. Here, the D just got added into the Python set, and while printing this particular Python set, it is generating a random sequence. So as I mentioned earlier, that Python set does not maintain the sequence, or it does not maintain the order of the items, and that is the reason why a random sequence is generated here. Similarly, we can also remove an item from this Python set. So for example, if I want to remove item A from this Python set, then I can say x.remove, and then we can just mention the item that we want to remove. Now if we print this particular variable, then as you can see that A got removed from the data. So I hope that it is clear that we can add and also we can remove items from a Python set. But if we try to make a modification on the items of this Python set, then that is not possible. So Python set just simply doesn't allow you to access any particular element separately. For example, if I say print x, and if I try to fetch the first element of this particular Python set, which is A. So if you remember, in the last few videos we discussed about, or we understood about, Python lists, where we could access all the items using indexing. But if you try the same in Python set, and if you try to access the first element using the index 0, then you will find an error, and the error will be set object is not subscriptable. It means that you cannot access the items of a set using indexing. And since you cannot access the items of a Python set, then naturally you cannot make any modification on the items. So I hope that this video helped you to understand the features of a Python set, and also it answered some of the other questions like what is a Python set, how was it declared, when should a developer go for a Python set instead of a Python list, and also what are the different limitations of a Python set. So if you understand the features clearly, then also you can make out the limitations of using the Python set instead of a Python list. But at the same time, it also helps you to understand when Python sets is the best option to store a collection of data. So I will conclude the video here just to keep the video length in control. And in the next video, I will explain you about all the possible operations that we can perform on a Python set. And we will also discuss about set comprehensions and all such complex topics as well. So that's it for this video. If you are a beginner, then I just recommend you to go through this video again and keep these points in your mind, because it will really help you in the future to design a solution or to fix a bug. And also it will mainly help you during interviews, because in interviews you can have such tricky questions on the features of a Python set, because the interviewers may test your understanding whether you have clear understanding of the differences between a Python set and a Python list or not. So that's it for now. See you in the next video.